We welcome you back. Hour number 2 is going to be spirited as we are live from the Seaport. As always, brought to you by Patron. Perfection starts with Patron, and nothing could be more perfect than having this crew already put together and adding the one, the only, the big swagoo to the conversation. Marcus Spears is here for hour number 2. And the conversation starts not in this country, Dominique Foxworth, but in Mexico last night. Game of the night, Monday Night Football, and a statement from the San Francisco 49ers. Look at the scene last night, Nate.
Oh, yeah, it was a party there, and only for one team, it seemed like.
That's right. No Kyler Murray for Arizona, and no defense either. Here's Christian McCaffrey, the enormous acquisition by the Niners. That puts them in the red zone second quarter. And then Jimmy G had himself a night, Dominique Foxworth.
Yeah, he was incredible last night. This was man coverage with the whole defender. He looks off the whole defender, comes back and hit Ayuk and do that dance.
He's got the dance. Niners up 7-3, and then tip drill.
Oh, nothing better than an easy interception. Let's have it. Sorry, Colt. That counts all the same.
And then now we're going the other way, and it's Garoppolo. And look at him moving out of the pocket and finding George Kittle behind the defense. Jimmy G, 228 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, 0 picks. Niners up 14-3. And then here comes more. A little trickeration. And, they've got Deebo Samuel. This team is loaded, Nate.
Oh, yeah, there are playmakers everywhere. This is a well-designed play. If you get Trent Williams blocking a corner and McGlinchey on a safety and nobody else to worry about and Deebo with the ball in his hands, again, it's time to do that dance.
Niners looking to put it away. Here we go, 4 minutes in the third. Garoppolo, Elijah Mitchell. The team ran for 159 yards in the game last night, and then it was time to pad the stats. Here comes Ayuk for another touchdown.
Yeah, another good pass in stride. Ayuk shrugs off that tackle, and they are in the end zone.
31-10, and now we're early in the fourth, and they got one more. Garoppolo off the play action. Kittle to the other side. Neat, they've got weapons everywhere you look.
Do they think this is the BCS? They just piling on points. They trying to get their ranking higher. This is just unfair. Kneel it out. That's mean.
38-10, the final score. The Niners a big win. Hey, Kyle Shanahan, how about that quarterback of yours?
Jimmy's doing a great job. I think Jimmy always has. When Jimmy's been healthy out there, we've had our guys around him. I think he plays at a very high level, and I think he did that today as good as he has. So we're very fortunate to have him.
It's really a hilarious thing to say. He has always done a great job for us, so good that we've done everything humanly possible to move on from him. Wait to get rid of him. And yet here he is. So, Marcus, let me catch up on where we are. We started the show this morning talking about San Francisco as a legit Super Bowl contender, and we will put that conversation a little later in this hour. What it basically boiled down to was, do you or do you not have the faith in Jimmy Garoppolo if this team needs him to win them a big game in the playoffs, getting it done? Marcus Spears, yes or no?
No, I don't, G. And Jimmy has been playing great the past 3 weeks. The most important thing he hasn't done is turn the football over. But ultimately, what we've seen historically from Jimmy G is him not be able to make those critical throws or critical plays when it was all really on the line. And you go back to the Super Bowl, obviously getting sacked by Aaron Donald against the Los Angeles Rams is not in entirety his fault, but he's given the ball away in those particular situations. If Jimmy Garoppolo stays on the path that he's on for the last 3 weeks, the San Francisco 49ers might win the Super Bowl. Like, this team we all know that we get around this part of the year and then we start to see the 49ers ascend. They've dealt with injury the past 2 years, getting their guys back, and they start making deep playoff runs. But until Jimmy G delivers in those moments, which most of the time you're judged off that anyway when your team is good enough to consistently be where the 49ers have been, I'm not going to believe it. But he's playing great right now, and it shouldn't take away anything from what he's been able to do.
I mean, Dominique, if I just gave you the numbers for this season, 67% completion, 15 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. When the team, the defense was banged up beyond recognition early in the year. When they've been healthy, they always win when he plays. What is Jimmy G going to have to do, Nick, to convince you?
Yeah, he's going to have to make those plays when other things fall apart. So Jimmy G is an NFL-level, starting-level quarterback, and when things are going well in all the spots around him, when the defense plays well, all the playmakers play well, he has protection, he can ascend to even higher level. But the problem is, when you get to the playoffs, you got to win 3 or 4 games in a row. There are going to be games where not everything works out, and the only person is the quarterback that can overcome some of those things, and Jimmy hasn't been able to do that. Even in some of their wins, you look back at those wins that they had in the playoffs last year. Like, Jimmy G played poorly in both of those games, but the defense and the playmakers overcame that. So that's the question mark around Jimmy G. Well, it's not a question mark, honestly. That's the issue. If they're going to make it to the Super Bowl, it's going to be because DeMeco Ryans and that defense are locking people down, and all those playmakers are making plays for him every single week.
Kittle and Samuel and Ayuk and Christian McCaffrey. Go ahead.
Well, it's a yards after the catch offense, right? And they're great at that. But in the playoffs, you're going to see teams that are more enthusiastic about tackling than the Arizona Cardinals were last night. I mean, you watch these highlights, like how many missed tackles are we looking at here? So, look, yes, they're going to have to, at some point, if they need Jimmy G to make a throw to win a game, we haven't seen him do that yet in the big spot, in the big playoff game. Not saying he can't, but until we see it, you have every right to doubt.
But that's not true. He took the team to the Super Bowl and made consequential plays. And when Stafford and the Rams went, they were one dropped interception away from them being back. So Jimmy Garoppolo plays good football. Now, they have great players around him, but they have won a lot of games with this nucleus.
You've lost our friends. Marcus, let me come to you. Because the debate we had earlier this morning is, are wins a quarterback stat? And my argument is, yes, it's a debate. Because we use it very conveniently however we want to. When a team wins and we don't like the quarterback, we say it's not a quarterback stat. And when a quarterback wins all the time and we like him, we say, well, look, he always wins when he plays. How much credit? All they do is win when he plays, Marcus. How much credit does he get for that?
Okay, let me do this, G. When you say we, let me take myself and put myself right over here.
Can I come with you?
Okay.
Can I come with you?
Outside of everybody.
I want to go with you.
Whoever else is coming.
Over there.
Listen, man, and honestly, G, you are absolutely right. And we say this all the time. Quarterbacks get too much credit and they get too much of the blame. No doubt about it. But let's focus on what we've seen from the San Francisco 49ers. That is why I have such a problem when guys like Mike Tannenbaum say he took them somewhere. This man threw 8 passes in an NFC championship game. Well, who the hell he taking anywhere in that game? Outside of those guys playing well around him. We know San Francisco runs the ball at a high level. We know they play defense at a very high level. And we know at times they ask Jimmy G to make throws. Listen, he's one of the most, when this team is rolling, like we saw them last night against Arizona, I give Jimmy G credit. He threw 4 touchdowns. But when this offense is rolling and everything around him is working, he's one of the most protected, easy-going quarterbacks when it comes to what you need to do in order for your team to win that we've seen in the last 4 or 5 years in the NFL. It ain't me saying that. It's the damn film saying that. So look, it always seems like we bashing Jimmy G. Jimmy's a solid to really good quarterback, right? And everybody can own that. The problem we have when everybody starts saying Jimmy G, all they do is win when he plays. He took them this, he took them there. Fair. But we know Jimmy G ain't take them anywhere. He's been a part of what they've been doing and not the reason that we've seen this success from the 49ers.
I need to push back on that in only this regard, and I just asked Hembo on the text to get me a stat, so it'll take a second here, but he just put up there, they're 36-17 and they average 27 points a game since he got there when he plays. What are they when he doesn't? I mean, the simple fact is when he plays, they win, and when he doesn't, they lose. Both of those things happen. It happened.
You're smart. You're smarter than this, Mike.
What's smarter? Tell me why.
You're smarter than this.
Like, okay,
it's like you're trying to position us like we're saying Jimmy G does not deserve to be in the NFL. Yes, he's better than Mullins and the other guys that they had out there. Yes, he's good enough to make this team good. And yes, the team is good enough to take him to the Super Bowl when he does not mess things up. But like, I think what Marcus just said was eminently reasonable. Yes, we all think he's good, and when things are going well, he can have great games. Last night was a great game. But when things go poorly, you are not going to be able to jump on Jimmy G's back. That is just a fact. That's not an insult. You're not going to make me feel like I'm a Jimmy G basher. I'm just a Jimmy G truther. He's very good at football. But when they get down to the situation, we saw it last year in both their playoff games. He was bad against Green Bay. He missed a lot of passes to put the Cowboys away. But they still won because the rest of the team played really well. But eventually, they're going to run into a team that you're going to have to make some plays for us, Jimmy. And he ain't going to be able to make enough. He ain't done it yet. And that's all.
Guys,
It is an insult.
Hey, guys.
No,
it is absolutely an insult. You're suggesting the quarterback was peripherally involved in this team winning all of these games. I don't know how that. I would hate to hear what an insult sounds like if that isn't one.
Well, to use Neek's term about the truther here, look, we can quibble about wins, but points you can't. And they average, as you said, Greeny, nearly 28 points a game when he's the quarterback. So, Swagoo, it may be 8 passes a game, however they get there, but if they're scoring 28 points a game and he's the quarterback, he deserves credit.
Are we looking at what he's got? I mean, like, this is Swagoo's point. I mean, he has the best left tackle. He has the best running back. He has the best. I mean, it's loaded. Again, Dominique's right. We're not insulting the guy. He's a good player. He's better than his backups have been. As almost every starting quarterback in the NFL is. They wouldn't be starting.
I'm going to give Marcus the final word, but I will just say this. There's one hard, fast rule in life. Anytime you say, I'm not insulting him, you're insulting him. Okay?
He's a good player.
If you have to make a caveat that you're not insulting him, you are definitively insulting him. Marcus, final word. Go.
I'm gonna take a page out of Foxy notebook on you, G, and I'm gonna call you Mike. Okay, you're mad at us right now. You're mad at us on Get Up. You're mad at me. You're mad at Garage. You're mad at Neek. And you and Mike Tannenbaum have formed this little coalition to be together. We ain't trying to trade Jimmy G. We ain't trying to get rid of him. We didn't draft a quarterback 3rd overall in the NFL draft. We are just reiterating to you what the San Francisco 49ers done told you and Mike Tannenbaum. Since you want to blame us this morning for what's going on with Jimmy G, it's the 49ers. So call them, have Shanahan or John Lynch on your damn Get Up show and fuss at them for what they don't think Jimmy Garoppolo is. Okay.
Look, I mean, I saw who went second in that draft so far. You may not be making the point you think you're making about who went third. Okay, I didn't even get. You know that conversation got